Hi folks, a civic lesson. The state of Louisiana, recently their legislature passed a bill requiring all public schools in the state to post prominently the Ten Commandments. And it was signed into law by the governor. And right away, the leftists, the liberals, the heathens, the Democrats, and the news media all objected, screaming, "Hey, you cannot do that. Those are government schools, and the First Amendment to the Constitution of these United States of America has the Establishment Clause, meaning separation of church and state. They're to be separate. The state church, the government is not supposed to promote religion." Well, that's a misconception. Because nowhere in the Constitution can you find that doctrine. But you know where they extrapolate that from? The First Amendment. Let us read the First Amendment together and see if you can find where states are not allowed to post the Ten Commandments. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof. You know what word is missing here? State. It doesn't read Congress and states. It just reads Congress. That's right. Because the Constitution restricts the federal government, not the states. The First Amendment restricts the federal government. The federal government is not to respect the establishment of religion. If they wanted the states, they would have read Congress and the states. If it doesn't mention the states. So where did this come from? Gee, let's analyze this. 55 delegates went to the Constitutional Convention in 1787, and it was ratified in 1789. Now let's look at this chart here of the first 13 states. The horizontal blue lines represents those states that had state religions. The vertical red line you see is approximately the time that the Constitution was ratified. And if you notice, 10 of those states, after the Constitution was ratified, still had state religions. Wait a minute, those 10 states were violating the Constitution. No, they were not. They were in compliance with the Constitution. That's why it wasn't challenged. That's why they weren't told to stop. They stopped on their own. So where did this separation of church and state come from? It was in 1802, a religious group, I think in Danbury, wrote a letter to Thomas Jefferson, one of our founding fathers, one of the authors of the Declaration of Independence. And they asked him about the church and religion and state, what the relationship should be. And in his reply in the letter, he mentioned separation of church and state. So right away in the 1930s or so, the Supreme Court grabbed a hold of that letter and said, "Hey, you see, Thomas Jefferson wrote separation of church and state, so that must be in the law. That must be stated because he's one of the founding fathers." There's just one thing wrong with that. He's a founding father. But when the Constitution was written in 1787 in Philadelphia, where was Thomas Jefferson? He was not in Philadelphia, and he was not in these United States of America. He was the American minister to France. While the Constitution was being written in Philadelphia, he was enjoying the opulent life in Paris. So yes, he can write the letter in reply, but he's not an authority on the Constitution in respect to the establishment of religion as stated in the First Amendment. Naturally, it's going to be challenged, the state of Louisiana's law, and I hope it survives the challenge in the Supreme Court, that the Supreme Court justices recognize that Congress shall not respect the establishment of religion. It's for Congress. not for the states. The states are free to do so because historically we see that they did do so after the ratification of that clause in the Constitution. Okay, folks. Glad to help you understand. We'll see you. God bless you. God bless America. And God bless the nation you happen to be in. And this year right now is in the year of our Lord, 2024 AD. See you.